everybody, welcome to a game that I like to play called What's in the Box, otherwise known as an unboxing of all of my subscription boxes from the last month. So this is my stack of things that have arrived in September. I have quite a few to get through today. I think we have 8 boxes in total. So we have 5 monthly subscription boxes, 2 special editions that I bought outside of the monthly subscription but from the same places, and 1 Waterstones pre-order. So this is a mixture of boxes that I have paid for and boxes that I have received free of charge from the companies in exchange for showing them to you guys in this video. So as usual, we will start off with a little run through of what we're going to be looking at today. On the top, we have a very anticipated 2024 release from me from Waterstones. I'm very excited to look at that actually and see if it matches book 1. I'm a little bit unsure. We have 4 Fairyloot. So one of these I have paid for. This one is a special edition of one of my favorite books of all time. It is absolutely gorgeous and I'm so excited to see it in person. We then have 3 Fairyloots that were sent to me to show to you guys in this video. So as always, thank you so much to Fairyloot for that. We have the YA box, which is a brand new hardback fantasy young adult release and a selection of bookish goodies. And then we also have their monthly book only adult fantasy subscription and also the Romantasy subscription. So if you guys are unfamiliar with Fairyloot, they are a UK based bookish subscription box company. They have 3 monthly subscriptions and they also do special editions on top of that. So once again, thank you to Fairyloot for sending these to me. I'm very excited. I think about 2 of these. One of them I'm like open to try, but it's not like jumping out at me. We also have 2 boxes from Goldsboro. So one of these is the Science Fiction and Fantasy Fellowship book for September, which I decided that I wanted it because it sounded interesting to me, but I have since seen, because I think the title for the sequel has been released and it has a very, very high rating on Goodreads, and I'm surprised because normally when I pick a book because I like the sound of it, it's actually not very good. But this has a ridiculously high rating. I don't know whether it's because it's so new and not many people have read it, but I'm very intrigued. And then the other thing I have from Goldsboro is the 3rd book in a series that I really enjoy, another one of my very anticipated releases of the year. These 2 I both paid for myself. And then the final box that we have is the monthly Illumicrate. This one was sent to me by the team over at Illumicrate to show to you guys, so thank you so much to Illumicrate for that. Illumicrate is once again a UK based bookish subscription box company. In every box they have a brand new fantasy or sci-fi hardback release ranging between young adult and adult depending on the month, and a selection of very heavy, it feels, bookish goodies. If you guys would like to get your hands on your very own Illumicrate as well after watching this video, I do have a code for Illumicrate, which is Becca5, that will get you a discount off a 3 or 6 month subscription. So you know what, we will start off with the Illumicrate. The book for this I have, because I've been watching Spookopothon TBRs, I'm like a year behind on my watch later, but because I'm hosting a readathon, I'm actually jumping ahead. So I have seen glimpses of this in people's TBR videos that I've been trying not to look at too closely, but I have no idea what any of the items are, and like I said, this box is quite heavy. So the theme for September is darker academia. I do like a dark academia, I can't lie. And here are the spoilers for this month's box if you would like to pause and take a little look at what we have in here. As usual, I'm going to be going in blind. This is a very unstable stack I have going on over here. First off, on top, we have a notebook maybe. I really like the design on here. It's like a moth and a snake. I'll take it out of the packaging. Seen something very exciting in this box. This is a lined, it's like a normal weekly planner. I'm pretty sure we just got a reading journal in an Illumicrate, so I'm surprised they're doing another stationery item so soon. But this one is like a regular weekly planner as opposed to a reading journal, which I do love me a planner. I can't lie, although I have transitioned to desk planners in recent years because I like to see everything like laid out in front of me. Really like the design on that one though. The item that got me all excited is the Dark Academia bookcase jigsaw puzzle. So this is the 3rd one from Illumicrate. They're all 1,000 piece puzzles. I was gonna say 500. The picture that they make is here. I haven't done one of these yet, and I actually only have 2 of them because I got every Afterlight that had items in except for the last one. I skipped the last one that had a puzzle in, and I'm actually really upset about it. But you know me, I love a puzzle. I cycle through all of the crafts and stuff I have ongoing, and I normally get back around to puzzles once a year, and I do like 6 back to back and then don't look at them again for another year. We also have, oh, I thought that these were going to be a pack of playing cards, but these are reading prompt cards, which are exciting. I always say when I get items like this that I'm going to do a vlog that like uses them. Literally never do, because your girl is, I would say I'm a moderately speedy reader. Like I read at like a regular pace, but there's just so many ideas and so little time, and I can't commit to all of them. But these all have reading prompts on them. So this one is the newest book on your shelf. That's a very nice one. A book that is a sequel to one you've read before, one that I need to take note of. A book with morally grey characters, big fan, big fan. Book with a map, easy peasy. A book set in space, a little bit more difficult, but I can work with it. So yeah, I think it would be cool to do a reading vlog with these. I will add it to my list of ideas that I never get done. We'll see what happens, shall we? Seriously though, I am actually going to jot that down. What about an episode of Shelve It or Scrap It that uses the Illumicrate cards? There we go. It's been noted. Let me know if you want to see that down in the description box. This is a, oh, it's a glasses pouch. I do not wear glasses anymore, but I love the color of this. That color is stunning. I do have sunglasses, of course, so these do come in handy. But now that I only wear sunglasses, there's only so many I need. I do prefer like the pouches for sunglasses though, as opposed to the harder shelled cases. And then finally down in the bottom here, we have the book of the month. Was this a fandom neutral box? I think it might have been. Yeah, which is great. I like that they do that from time to time. So the book of the month, I'm pretty sure is sapphic. I also think it might be gothic, and that is all I can tell you about it. And that might not even be correct, but it is A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saft. So this one is a completely custom cover from Illumicrate. So I will of course overlay the original over the top so that you guys can see the difference here. It has, oh, really pretty end papers, custom illustrated ones, which I didn't expect this to have. I mean, it makes sense actually because the theme of the box is dark academia, but I wasn't actually expecting this to have like a textbook or like Emily Wilde encyclopedia of fairies kind of twist to it. We also have this is like the picture that's on the original cover that has been printed onto the hardcover and foiled. We do also have a laser printed edge, which is quite nice. It is a little bit dark though, so you have to really look at it to pick out the detail. And we should have, yes, a bound in letter from the author and also a signed tip-in page. So like I said, I am pretty unfamiliar with the synopsis of this. It's actually shorter than I thought it was. I thought it looked quite chunky, but it's 365 pages, so middle of the road. But the synopsis says, Lorelei Caskell, a folklorist with a quick temper and an even quicker wit, is on an expedition with 6 eccentric nobles in search of a mythical spring of untold power. The king wants to harness the fabled water source from which magic flows to secure his reign, and Lorelei is determined to prove herself and to make her dream come true, to become a naturalist able to travel freely to faraway lands. The expedition gets off to a harrowing start when its leader, Lorelei's beloved mentor, is murdered in her quarters aboard their ship. The suspects are her 5 remaining expedition mates. The only person Lorelei knows must be innocent is her longtime academic rival, the insufferably gallant and maddeningly beautiful Sylvia von Wolf. Oh, I love that name. Now in charge of the expedition, Lorelei must find the spring before the murderer strikes again and a coup begins in earnest. But other dangers lurk in the dark. Forests that rearrange themselves at night, rivers with slumbering dragons hiding beneath the water, and shape-shifting beasts out for blood. As Lorelei and Sylvia grudgingly work together to uncover the truth and resist their growing feelings for each other, they discover that their leader had secrets of their own, secrets that make Lorelei question whether justice is worth pursuing and if this kingdom is worth saving at all. So this is different than I expected it to be. When I think of dark academia, or the dark academia that I like a group of people brooding in a library, not so much like on an expedition to gather information, which skews almost, not saying that this is cozy because there seem to be stakes, but almost cozy fantasy in the vein of like Emily Wilde, which was a book that I enjoyed but I didn't love. But I will of course give it a try, and this is a very, very pretty edition. So down in my comments, as always, let me know what your favorite item from this month's box is. I think that mine is definitely the jigsaw jigsaw puzzle. I really like this box from Illumicrate actually, because it has 2 items that I very much enjoy, and then 2 that I think are pretty decent, just not necessarily, well, I might use this. We know I have commitment issues regarding stationery, but I would say it's a pretty strong box. So next up, we will do everything that has items in, and then we'll go through all of the book only stuff. So we will do the YA Fairyloot for September. I can't remember whether it's this one or the adult fantasy for this month. I'm sure it's this month. I'm actually questioning, because obviously like I now know, because I look up spoilers, what the books for like October and some of the November ones are. I'm questioning whether this is the month where I have 2 that I'm really excited about and 1 that I don't really have an opinion on. So we'll just see. We'll just go through the boxes and we'll see. So this one I am gonna have to dig for the spoiler card, which is right at the bottom. The theme for this month is Mastermind, and here are the spoilers if you guys would like to pause and read them. The first thing that we have, oh, is a Babel Tower tea light holder. I'm interested to see the shape on this one, because the last tea light holder we had was like one of the ones that spins around. Oh, this is pretty cute actually. That's cute. I like the idea here. I was gonna say I'm not a massive fan of Babel. I actually did really enjoy it, so that was just a straight up lie. But we do have a little quote printed in the bottom here. It is off center, but it says we're here to make magic with words, and that's the little bit obviously that you insert the tea light into. Oh yes, yes. So I have multiple of these. These are like bowl cozies. This one is inspired by the Dagger and the Flame, which I think could be the book of the month. But it is essentially like when you have a hot bowl with soup or something in, you can put it in here to hold it. And obviously getting into the season that we're in, I do use these a little bit more. I know that I have 3 of them, but I can only find 1. So this is really, really helpful. Thank you, Fairyloot. It doesn't necessarily like specifically say that it is a bowl cozy, but because of the way it bends, I feel like that is definitely what it is intended for. We also have a Throne of Glass desk mat. So Illumicrate have recently done 2 desk mats, one of which is on my desk and one of which I gave to Curtis because I don't need 2 desk mats. So now we have a third, so let's see how this one compares. This actually, you know, I might swap the one that I've got out for this, because if you look at the colours of this and the colours of this room, matches a little bit better than the purple one does. Yep, very autumnal, very nice. I think that I am going to be swapping this out. I do love desk mats. I just feel like they make my desk feel extra bougie. I do stand by I don't need a bunch of them, but this one colour wise matches this room more, so I am going to be swapping it out. And then this is a pin which we have in a little velvet bag this time. It's inspired by The Tempest of Tea, which is a Hafsa Faisal book that I haven't read yet, but it says it's a replica pin. So what does that mean? I genuinely don't know what it means, and I think it might be because I haven't read the book, but it has like a little door that has a membership number underneath. It says it's an Ethereum marker pin replica, so if you've read the book you will know more about what that means than I do, but I like that it has a little moving part on it. That's cool. And then before we get into the book of the month, we have the tarot cards. In every Fairyloot box you get 2 tarot cards, and eventually I think by April next year you will end up with a full deck of tarot. So these ones are inspired by the book of the month, which is The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle, and they are the Page and the Knight of Suns. I like the character art on these as well. So getting into the book of the month, I know what the original cover looks like, and in the bag we also have the monthly fairy scoop, as well as the spoiler card bookmark, and ooh, very like glossy cover on here, but the book looks like this. I am going to refresh myself on what this cover looks like actually, because I think that this is a deeper red than the original, where the other one might be more like orange and yellow. Yeah, so I will of course overlay it so that you guys can see, but on the original the background is red and the like flamey bits are all yellow, whereas this one has a black background with red detailing on it. The gold on here is not foiled, but it's more like, I think the red is like spot gloss, and maybe some of the gold as well, and the black on here. Oh, I love a landscape printed edge. It is my favorite. We have foiled end papers in here as well, which I once again like the character art on, and they are different on each side. The dust jacket just wants to jump off. So we have a foiled naked hardcover with a dagger on one side and a flame on the other. And then we also have oh, this is pretty. I am more excited about this book now that I've seen the cover art. This is the one I think of the three that I wasn't as intrigued about. It's just not, it didn't immediately jump out at me. I love that reverse dust jacket though. And then the front of the book should indeed have bound in letter from the author. I'm glad that these are coming as like almost a standard with most subscription box books now, instead of coming separately, because it's just the hardest to keep track of and they're never the right size to fit inside the book, which is frustrating when it comes to storing them. Oh, synopsis. We haven't done the synopsis. Okay, so I'm more intrigued now, so let's see what this is actually about. It says, in Phantom, a kingdom of cobbled streets, flickering lamplight, beautiful buildings and secret catacombs, shade magic is a scarce and deadly commodity controlled by two enemy guilds, the Cloaks and the Daggers, the Thieves and the Assassins. On the night of her mother's murder, 18-year-old Seraphine runs for her life. Seeking sanctuary with the Cloaks, Sarah's heart is set on revenge. But are her secret abilities a match for the dark-haired boy whose quicksilver eyes follow her around the city? Nothing can prepare Sarah for the moment she finally comes face to face with Ransom. Love it. Heir to the Order of Daggers, and Ransom is shocked to discover that this assuming farm girl wields a strange and blazing magic he has never seen before. A fiery enemies to lovers romantasy. You know what? I can get behind it. I can. It's kind of like a very basic synopsis, but it's one that I typically enjoy, so I'm not going to complain about it. So I really enjoyed this Fairyloot box actually. Let me know, of course, what your favourite item from this month's box is. I think I'm going to go with the desk mat for this one, but I think we have a lot of really good items in this month's box, so it's a pretty strong one. To get through the book only, we may as well continue on the Fairyloot route. So we have their Romantasy box for September. This is the one that I am really, if it's the book that I think it is, then it is one that I'm excited for, but I can't remember if I'm thinking of the October book or not. So, oh, this has a little art card or art print in it. Yeah, I'm thinking of the October book, I think, because the theme of this one is Shadowed Fate. Could still be one that I'm excited about though. I honestly can't remember. So it also came with this. It is a print, it's like a foiled print. I don't know what it is about it, but something makes it feel like it has the texture of a sticker almost. And the book of the month, ooh, already, do you have to sit there and scratch? I really like the colour palette already. But this one is the Half King by Melissa Landers. Okay, I love me a purple book. I'm pretty sure that this one is a custom cover. I actually really like the original cover of this, but it is the same kind of colour with gold on. So this one is a custom cover with custom printed edges. We also have foiled end papers here, which are, ooh, different on each side. Different vibe than I thought this was gonna have. It's given Final Fantasy though, and I'm not mad about it. Something that is worrying me though, it's just the design of the book, so I'm sure it's no more coincidence than that. It's kind of reminding me of the Hurricane Wars. Really did not like that book. But we also have like a marbly printed hardcover with foiling under the dust jacket, and in the front we have a bound in letter from the author, and it is also signed by the author. So the synopsis on this one says, in a world where birth order determines your fate, what if everything you believed about yourself was a lie? Like all second-born daughters of the realm, Cerise Solon has never ventured beyond the temple grounds where she lives in service to the goddess. But unlike her peers, Cerise is a complete failure as an oracle. Her inability to foretell a single tragedy has brought shame upon her family, something she sees reflected in their eyes during their rare visits. Everything changes when the head seer offers Cerise an opportunity to serve the Half-King, a young man who rules by day and turns to shadow at sunset. As a firstborn son, the king bears his bloodline's curse and is destined to vanish completely upon his 21st birthday. While searching for a way to restore him, Cerise finds a kindred spirit in the mysterious young ruler, and with his help discovers a startling revelation about herself that unlocks a powerful set of gifts. But the truth comes with a price, for she is no oracle, but instead the product of a union so forbidden its discovery would sentence her to death. Despite her tainted origins, Cerise might be the key to restoring order to the land and saving the man she's quickly growing to love, if she can outlive those sworn to destroy her. So I'm not getting like overwhelmingly excited vibes from the synopsis. It sounds decent, but there's nothing in it that's really pulling at me aside from the king, because you know I do love like a dark king kind of romance. But the edition is really pretty and I do hope that it is one that I enjoy. I feel like out of some of the Romantasy picks, I'm more likely to enjoy this one than some of the previous ones, like the reverse harem one and the one with wolves. Moving on to the adult fantasy box for September. The theme for this month is power struggles. I am very excited about this one. Maybe it was the YA and the adult that I was excited about, and the Romantasy one I wasn't as excited about, because I do feel like I was right and this is the one where it has like two strong books. I'm excited for the Romantasy pick for next month though. I have another book by the author for the October box that I haven't read yet, but I'm also excited to have another book by them that I haven't read, I guess. Ooh, this has a very, very pretty edge. And this one is the new Andrea Stewart book, which is The Gods Below. So this one I think is a custom colorway, so I will overlay the original over the top. The original one I think is more gold toned in the design, whereas this one is purple and red, which I remember when I was a teenager I wanted a bedroom that was purple and red, and I still stand by it as like a killer color combination if I'm being honest. This has a lasered edge which kind of carries the theme of the cover all the way round. We also have some foiled end paper art which is different on both sides, and then under the dust jacket we have printed and foiled hardcover. Don't love this. I don't love hardcovers that are both printed and foiled. I don't know why. I just don't. Ooh, is this sapphic? I feel like I didn't know that. But we have a custom cover underneath as well. I really like the style of the art on this. I feel like it's reminding me of the old Ember and the Ashes covers. Is it sapphic? Or do we just have two female main characters? I don't know. Let's read the synopsis and see if it gives us some clarity. There is also a bound-in letter from the author as well. Ooh, pretty map. Okay, so synopsis. The Gods Below begins an epic new fantasy series from Sunday Times best-selling author Andrea Stewart, where two sisters find themselves on opposite sides of a war against gods. After a divine war shattered the world, humanity struck a pact with the god Clune. In return for a regular tribute of magical gems, Clune, question mark is me, that's not in the synopsis, would restore the world to its former glory. But as each land is transformed, so too are its people changed into strange new forms, if they survive at all. Akara is not willing to pay such a price. Desperate to protect herself and her sister Rasha, she flees her homeland for the safety of a neighbouring kingdom. But tragedy strikes when they're separated and Hakara is forced to abandon Rasha to an unknown fate. Yet when Hakara discovers she can channel the power of the magical gems, she's invited to join a clandestine plot to destroy the God Pact. To win Hakara to their cause, the conspirators reveal a startling secret. Rasha is alive and they can help rescue her, but only if Hakara goes to war against a god. So this one I'm mainly excited about because I've heard good things about Andrea Stewart. I haven't read from her before, but I was very excited that this was the Fairyloot pick because it is the kind of thing that I would consider like purchasing for myself, with it being like an adult fantasy. And I hope that it has good things. So I've heard mixed things about, is it the Bone Shard Daughter that Andrea Stewart writes? Yeah, the Droning Empire series. I've heard mixed things that I want to try it, so this is the perfect opportunity for me to try out Andrea Stewart. Final Fairyloot is the special edition that I have purchased. I'm very excited about this. It's one of my favorite books and this edition is stunning. I'm pretty sure that it is actually in line with some re-released covers of this series, but regardless, it is gorgeous. Still haven't read the last book in the series, but they're kind of like a series of connected standalones, so it's fine. But the special edition that I received is Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. So this series was recently re-released in paperback, and by recently I think it was like sometime last year, with all of the new covers in this absolutely gorgeous style that is just so fitting for this book. We also have on the Fairyloot edition, I'm pretty sure the foiling will be exclusive, we also have a really pretty laser printed edge, and I'm not sure, I imagine the end papers are custom actually because there's no end pages in paperbacks. I had to think for a second if that was accurate, but yeah, like there's no end pages. No, it's just card, right? Oh, this is so pretty. I love this book so much. The back says, oh, it says Diana Wynne Jones. It's so cute. And then we also have a custom reverse dust jacket in here as well. They've actually just announced that they're also going to be doing Kiki's Delivery Store, which I haven't read that and I don't know who the author is, but it matches this pretty much in the style of the design. So I think I might be getting that one as well, just because they're just so beautiful and I'm a big Ghibli fan. But this one is it's a middle grade book, but it is definitely one that can be read by adults. It's like a fairy tale that kind of transcends its target demographic. It does also have a romance in here, but it is following a woman called Sophie who leaves home to seek her fortune, and she is cursed into the body of an old woman. So when she decides that she's gonna strike out and like seek her fortune in the hills after this curse hits her, she ends up stumbling across Howl's moving castle. Howl is a very eccentric and grumpy wizard, and Sophie ends up, I don't know if it's like her official title is that she ends up being his assistant, and over the course of the story the two of them grow closer. It's magical, it's whimsical, it's beautiful. I actually prefer the book to the movie, but I actually read the book first and I'm so happy to have this edition. So before we get into our 2 Goldsboro books for the month, we will do the Waterstones pre-order. I am interested to see how this looks because the first book has a stenciled edge on it and there's nothing in the listing that says that this, yeah, it doesn't, which is disappointing because like if you stuck a stenciled edge on the first one, just stick a stenciled edge on the other one too, please. But this is one of my most anticipated releases of the year and I'm so excited to get into it, which is The Republic Assault by Ariel Kaplan. So if you're a fan of things like The Bear and the Nightingale or City of Brass, I would definitely recommend picking up the first book, The Pomegranate Gate. It is criminally underrated in my opinion, but it is the story of 2 people who are being forced out of a country that is inspired by medieval Spain because they are Jewish. So Christianity is taken over and they have told the Jews that they can convert to Christianity or they can leave. So one of our main characters has some sort of affliction where she can walk but she can't run, and she can speak but she can't shout. So as she joins this caravan leaving the city, she starts to fall further and further behind and she can't do anything about it or alert anybody that this is happening. She starts to get accosted by a guy who is trying to like abduct her, and once again she can't alert anybody, and our male main character Naphtali sees this happen. He follows her into the woods where she's being ushered by this guy, and she disappears through the Pomegranate Gate, which goes into a different dimension. So Naphtali then goes to find her grandmother to tell her that her granddaughter has ended up disappearing into a different dimension, and those two are trying to find the main female character who is called Toba, while she is in a different dimension that is very much like the City of Brass, or almost like first book Akasar, in that she ends up in this crumbling estate with this elusive lord and his nephew with some magical things going on. Honestly, definitely would recommend picking up The Pomegranate Gate. I'm really excited to see where the Republic of Salt takes it. It looks like it's a little bit thicker at 470 pages, yeah, so it's super atmospheric and super immersive, and I hope that this one holds up to how much I really loved the first book. Okay, so for the Goldsboro editions, my post guy bled all over my post one morning, so I did disinfect that, but I think that the one covered in blood, like look, literally just blood everywhere. I think that this one is the September box because I think it shipped quite late. As always, I love the amount of bubble wrap that Goldsboro use because I can recycle it. It saves me money and it also protects my book. So the book for September for the GSFF is Tales of a Monstrous Heart by Jennifer Delaney. Goldsboro specialise in signed and numbered first editions, so this one is of course signed by the author and it is number 1601 out of 2000. We have a printed edge on here. Also the yellowing to make it look like an aged like library book is a nice touch, and then we also have foiling under the dust jacket, which says I was a being with a monstrous heart, so now I'd show them just how monstrous I could be. I'll read the synopsis first and then we'll look up the Goodreads rating together. It says, be careful of the dark and those that call it friend. Catherine Woodrow is Fae and all she wants is to graduate from the Institute of Magic. But when the prejudiced Morsel Council threaten her position at the Institute, she is left with only one option, accept a mage partnership with the elusive Lord Blackthorn. Emrys Blackthorn is a riddle Cat is fearful of solving. The mysterious cursed war hero with his stormy eyes and unpredictable ways leaves Cat with more questions than answers. What she does know is that she is irresistibly drawn to him, no matter how forbidden it may be. When a string of murders and Fae disappearances herald the return of a dark magic, Cat and Emrys are thrown into a world of ancient books that hide hideous monsters, dark fiends who play with nightmares, and mortal men who wish nothing more than to see them both burn. But what haunts them both are secrets even ghosts dare not whisper, while insidious shadows lick their teeth and sharpen their claws, waiting for the moment that all tales will come to light, even the monstrous ones. So you can see why I am interested in this book, like very much something that I would enjoy. That doesn't necessarily mean that I would expect it to be an amazing book, but if we look at the Goodreads rating of this, it has a 4.17 average rating with 265 ratings. Okay, so it is pretty early, I would say. I have a lot of friends rating it 4 or 5 stars, a lot of general reviews 4 or 5 stars. Somebody's called it a hauntingly beautiful slow burn gothic romantasy inspired by Jane Eyre in a dark academia setting, so I mean, sign me up. But it's not something that I would expect to have like a really high, like over 4-star rating, but obviously I was interested in it to start off with, so I'm even more excited to get to it now. Oh, that one's a slippery fella. And then the final book that I have to show to you guys today is a sequel, a highly anticipated sequel for me. A sequel from an author who I have not read a series conclusion from before. So I am very interested to see how this one wraps up, because book 1 and 2, amazing, beautiful execution. I mean, I only give them 4 stars, so not that beautiful, but honestly, like, very impressive. And this one is The Ending Fire by Sarah Ella Reefy. Thinner than I expected it to be, which is interesting. But this one is an entirely custom edition from Goldsboro. I will overlay the original over the top. We have, I thought that was a silver sprayed edge. It's absolutely not, it's just white. And as always, it is signed and numbered by the author. And this one is, ooh, number 107 of 1,000. Ooh, I like that. But this one is the final book in the Ending Fire trilogy by Sarah Ella Reefy. It is an adult fantasy that is set in a world where people are segregated based on the colour of their blood. So the red-blooded people are the nobility, the blue bloods are the lower class and like almost the working class, and the translucent blooded people are essentially the slaves and the servants of the world. So our 3 main characters, we have 1 of each blood, but we mainly focus on our blue-blooded and red-blooded main characters. So there was a rebellion in this world 20 years prior to the start of the story, where a group, like a rebellion group, replaced a bunch of red-blooded babies with blue-blooded ones so that they could have the red-blooded children and train them to see the injustice that was faced on a daily basis by the blue-blooded people, and to train them to compete in a series of trials that happens, I think it's every 10 years, that decides the next rulers of the world. So one of our main characters is actually a blue-blooded baby that was swapped, so she is in a red household, and the reason her position hasn't been revealed is because it would bring shame to their family to know that their home was infiltrated. We also follow a red-blooded character who was one of the red-blooded children that was taken and raised amongst the rebellion, but the rebellion has since failed. And then we also follow a translucent blooded servant. So I obviously really enjoyed book 1. As well as a sapphic romance, it has a series of trials kind of forming the structure of the plot. And then book 2 took everything in book 1 and just built upon it in ways that I did not expect, and I loved it. So I'm hoping that Sarah Ella Reefy can like bring this one home to land. It looks small, but it's actually like nearly 500 pages. It's 450 exactly. So it's not as small as I feel like it appears, but I am going to be buddy reading this one with Aaron in the month of October, so fingers crossed that I end up loving it. Oh, this is quite a heavy stack actually. These are all of the books from my September unboxings. Let me know down in my comments which one you think is the prettiest edition of September. That's a difficult one, I think. I'm going to do the bit that everyone loves. even though some of these are not that exciting. Here are the stenciled edges, and let's just remove you. You've disappointed me. Here are all of these stenciled edges. I think that my favorite edge of the month is A Dagger in the Flame by Catherine Doyle, because I really love a landscape edge. This reminds me of Empire of the Vampire, and also Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enright has an edge similar to this as well. In terms of editions as a whole though, I am gonna go for Howl's Moving Castle, even though this is actually like the general cover art. I just think in terms of this being a Ghibli movie, the designers and then also Fairyloot, who've added the customizations, have done just like such a good job on this in making it so beautiful and like capturing the spirit of Howl's Moving Castle. But I also really love some of the like character art that we've got this month in books such as like A Dagger in the Flame. So a very good stack of special editions and a stack of books that I'm also quite excited to read. But thank you guys so much for watching this mega unboxing. I feel like it was a little bit of a lengthy one. If you guys would like to let me know that you were here but you don't feel like you have anything to say, leave me a castle emoji down in my comments. But aside from that guys, if you are interested in any of the boxes that I've opened today, down in my description box you will find a link to all of the websites for like Fairyloot, Goldsboro and Illumicrate, as well as all of their social medias and any discount codes that I have for any of the boxes. But aside from that guys, I do hope you have enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to like if you liked it and subscribe if you wanna. If you head into my description box, you'll also find a link to my Goodreads, Instagram and my Patreon if you would like to follow me on any of those. But that is it from me today guys. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you will go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.